All right, man. We're live. We are instant reaction. We don't even have the intro or none of that, bro. We get right to it. This is an incredible divisional round weekend. Um, I was we're on the heels of an incredible divisional round game between the Bills and the Ravens. I'm at a loss for words. There's so much to unpack. I don't even know where to start. I don't even have time to process everything. I don't even know how to get to the intro. But this is the Fin Out of Water Football Show, and I am your host, B Herbo, and I got my brother from another mother, Rob, man. And let's discuss. Let's get right into it, man. We already pressed for time. So yeah, we're just gonna blish right through this, man. Ah, the-
Why, Herb? Why? Well, Mark Andrews. I'm sorry, Herb. Just go, man.
okay, where do we start? There's so many
Um,
ways to attack this game. There's so many ways to approach Bills Ravens. The turnovers, the drama. Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews won't be able to sleep for months. This
for
is going to
months.
be with him for the rest of his life, not his career, his life. Like he was in the end zone. He was in it. They tied the game. He took that away from Lamar Jackson. Like Lamar Jackson played the best playoff game of his life. Like this is like regardless of the two turnovers. And it just my heart breaks. But what I learned in this game and this playoffs and most playoffs and the Super Bowl and everything like that, football, NFL football is the greatest TV show in America right now, dog. When you get a high level playoff game, it is the best TV show in America. The tension, being on the edge of your seat, being fully invested on every single play. A football game lasts 3 hours. It's like going to a movie. Like this was theater. This was amazing. The highs, the lows. If you are a Ravens fan or somebody that was rooting for Lamar Jackson, you are heartbroken. If you are a
Mm.
Bills fan or you are rooting for Josh Allen, you are going through jubilation right now, dog. Like me as somebody who had no dog in the fight, I was just at a loss for words when the Bills scored. I'm like, oh my god. When the Ravens scored, I'm like, oh my god. This one was one for the ages, and I'm so happy it lived up to the hype, dog. Like all week we were building this up as heavyweight match, battle for the MVP of the streets. The real MVP is on the line. But my biggest takeaway from this game is neither guy should feel like they nobody lost. Josh Allen didn't lose anything. I gained respect for Josh Allen after this game. I gained respect for Lamar Jackson after this game. They both put it out there. They both put their bodies on the line. This was incredible. This was incredible. So what? Hold on. Super bad. Brower's super bad. That ain't LPJ's fault though, man. That's not his fault. That ain't it's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? It's not his fault, right? Mark Andrews, wherever the fuck Mark Andrews from, bruh. He let his city down, man. Where Mark Andrews from, dog? And while I'm looking that up, go ahead and let me get you Scottsdale. Scottsdale, Arizona is down bad, man. Leave Lamar out of this, dog. Leave Lamar out of
But
this.
you know what though, Herb? I can't leave Lamar out of this. I can't because
Okay.
he
Fair
he's
enough.
allowed the Bills to go to another championship game. And listen, look, I know it's not all his fault, right? Like first and foremost, Herbie, we talked about it on the last pod. This was the main event, right? This was the WrestleMania. Yeah, next week we get Chiefs Bills, which is the real WrestleMania, pretty much until the Super Bowl. But in terms of divisional weekend, this was the main event, and it lived up to the billing. It really did. It was a riveting game from start to finish. But Herbie, I do agree with your point that Lamar did play the best playoff game he's played, despite the two turnovers. But you also got to think about it like this: this game went down to the wire, and the Bills they had a +3 differential in the turnover game. Like, you know, if the Ravens can hold on to the ball at some point, dog, if they could,
They were the better
save
team.
themselves from, yeah, they were Herbie. That's basically the point I was gonna make. The Ravens went into this game. They were the better team, and much like the Lions last night, which we'll get to shortly, you could be the better team, Herbie, but when you make more mistakes, it's going to cost you. And Lamar Jackson can't have that interception to Ian Rapp. You know what I'm saying?
Which
He
was a
can't have
terrible
that fumble.
interception. It was awful.
You know what I mean? Like you can't make those plays when you're going up against a team of your caliber. Like regardless of how I feel about Buffalo Bills, Herbie, they are a championship caliber team, obviously. And it just hurts me, man, that I really wanted this for Lamar, Herbie. I really wanted this for Lamar. I wanted this for the Ravens, for Broward. I wanted this. I wanted to see the Bills crush it. Now, Herbie, the Ravens have put me into an impossible position, man. I, I the the Chiefs to go to another Super Bowl on one
No, no, no,
hand.
no. This is what you do. This is what you do. You root for the Bills, and then you root against the Bills in the Super Bowl, bro. Best of both worlds, dog. You can't root for the Chiefs. After what I watched yesterday, bro, like it's just
Oh
shameless.
man.
It's
Oh my god.
disgusting. But we'll get to that though. Let's stick on this game though, man.
Oh man. But look, um, first and foremost, man, I don't want anyone to like. I know we had a lot of banter about this game. There was a lot of talk on both sides. Lamar MVP, Josh Allen MVP. But Herbie, I was. It sounds weird to say, but I was proud of both of them, Herbie,
Yeah,
because what they gave us was a classic quarterback duel, and it wasn't like the typical. It wasn't like a shootout, like both niggas throwing 300, 400 yards, but it was a true chess match. This was a true, every part of this game was something earned, right? Like I was frustrated watching the Ravens in the first half, Herbie, because they couldn't get the ground game going. They got it going in the third quarter. You know what I mean? Buffalo, they had the ground game going in the first half. That died down in the second half, but Josh Allen got going through the air. Like both teams were able to match each other's adjustments, which is what made this such a back and forth seesaw game. It was a great game, man. Like I won't deny that, Herbie. And
yeah.
it just hurts me because I was pulling for the Ravens. I wanted to see Lamar finally break through, for all the doubters, for all the critics. It's going to be crazy. Now, at this point, I kind of want Josh Allen to win the MVP because I don't want Lamar to win the MVP and then have another playoff loss under his
Hey
belt.
man, listen. Lamar is gonna be at the NFL honors during Super Bowl week, while four other teams are fighting for that opportunity, and he's gonna get the MVP award. He won the MVP. He deserves the MVP. That's his.
He does.
It's
He
a
does. He
regular
does. He
season
does.
award. This has nothing to
Yeah.
do with that. Those votes were in before this game was even played, right? Like
Right.
I just don't want the narrative or any kind of media or any people trying to put this on Lamar. Yes, he had two terrible turnovers that ultimately impacted the game and ultimately was a deciding factor of why they lost and why he's going back to Broward again. However, he is the only reason why they even had a chance at the end of the game because
Absolutely.
he was the one making plays.
Hmm.
Like he was the one keeping plays alive and finding and converting on third downs and finding people down open and avoiding the rush and buying time. This was not on Lamar. He you could make the argument he's the biggest reason why they lost, but his impact on why they were even in the game is significantly greater. Mark Andrews, you buddy, dummy, two, stupid dude, bro, get out of Baltimore, put your house on sale, buddy. It's over for you. You were never welcome back there again. All right? Like,
Mark,
there's
how
nothing.
could you?
He would
How
have to
could you,
have the
man?
greatest playoff run in the history of tight ends to recover from this game. Remember, he had the final turnover. It was his
Yep.
turnover. He gave up that fumble. And then
Yes,
he
sir.
dropped a pass that would have tied the game. Now, ultimately, I think the Bills get the ball and the Bills kick a field goal to win. But you could wear that. You could eat that. You could go to sleep with that. That's still up for chance. They might go three and out, and then you get the ball back with a minute left. For you could probably
Right.
kick the field goal. But what happened with that? There is nothing. It was only a loss after that, bro. Like it was only a loss after that.
Your fate was decided at that moment. The
It,
moment,
it,
Herbie, the moment of that drop, your fate was decided. It was a wrap.
it
It was a
was a
wrap.
wrap, dog. So because we are short for time, we're gonna have to go in and blitz through a couple of games. But ultimately, like I said, I just hope that both people or both fan bases in the media will just, and I know we're in debate culture, we're in argue culture, we're in take a side culture, but sometimes you can just watch an incredible game. Somebody has to lose a game, dog.
or an
Like
incredible
they're
fight. Yeah,
like
yeah.
somebody has to lose. Both people could put it out there on the line. Both people could bring their A game. Both people could be great. Both teams could be great. Somebody has to lose. I don't think the Ravens were bad. Oh, hold on. Let me switch. I knew that was gonna happen. Sometimes you think you would have your shit charged, right?
Oh,
Nope.
your shit died.
Yup. That shit died on my ass, boy.
That's
But
hilarious.
yes,
That's hilarious.
somebody has to lose the game, bro. And that's just life, dog. Like that's just life, bro. All right, man. Any last words before we move on to the next game?
Um, the only last words I have are just when it comes to the Bills, right? Because I spent a lot of this time talking about the Ravens, so I just want to share a few words for them. Listen, man, Buffalo. I'm gonna just be honest with you, Buffalo fans, and it pains me to say this. I'm not saying this because I want to. I'm saying this because this is what I honestly believe. This is y'all time. If you don't beat the man at the top of the mountain now, when are you gonna do it?
When are you
When
ever
are you
gonna
gonna
do
do
it?
like when you gonna do like this is it? This is the year Josh Allen has to get over the hump. The Bills, Sean McDermott, like everything is pointing towards you guys being the ones to keep the Chiefs from doing what has been the NFL impossible. So and the Bills, they had some injuries today. I don't know how that's gonna look going into next week. I know a couple guys got hurt. Ian Rapp got hurt. Taron Johnson got hurt, but he was back in the game. But your defense has been playing at a high level, and you're going to need that against the Chiefs. And listen, Josh Allen is playing the most efficient ball he has ever played in his career. He has finally reached that stage where he's comfortable being a game manager and then turning on Superman when he needs to, basically turning Super Saiyan on and off when he needs to, and that's made him an even more dangerous player. So when you have a player like Josh Allen playing at the height of his powers, and then you have this Bills team that's rallying around him right now, you have a running game, you have a stout offensive line. Herbie, this is it. Like Buffalo, I'm not rooting for you, but this is your time. That's basically my point. This is your time.
Hey, bro, I have to agree with you, man. Nothing else has to be
This is your
said,
time.
man. All right, next game. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to take this? You want to do Eagles? You want to do
Nah,
Commanders?
we gotta do Lions and Commanders, and we could do the other two later. Gotta
Man,
do
let's go,
Lions,
man. Let's
Commanders,
go,
man.
man. Hey, take the lead. Take the lead. Talk me through it,
Herbie,
man.
listen, this game, the first and foremost, I want to say, look, I have been probably a big Jared Goff supporter since last year, Herbie. I think when I watched him in the playoff game against the Niners, I gained some respect for him, Herbie, because that game wasn't on him. Sometimes the game is on the quarterback, sometimes the game is on the guys around him. That was a game where Jared Goff made the throws, but the guys couldn't complete the plays. This wasn't it this time, Herbie. This time we got a Jared Goff who really wasn't ready for prime time. But the real conversation, Herbie, isn't even Jared Goff to me. Like, yes, he had 3 interceptions. The last one don't really count. He really had 2 interceptions in the fumble that were like really impacting the game. But when I look at this game against Washington and the Lions, Herbie, I think what impressed me more was how Washington came out and they just went and they took it. Like, Herbie, I don't think people really understand what we're watching with Jaden Daniels. It is not, what's the word I'm looking for? It is not unprecedented for a rookie quarterback to be in a championship game, right? We saw it with Big Ben. We saw it with Flacco and Sanchez and Brock Purdy. Like, we've seen this before. But the difference this time, Herbie, all those other teams, the team around those rookies were great teams. Either great defenses with okay offenses, or in the case of Purdy, just an overall complete team. This is the first time I could ever remember, Herbie. Maybe this is the first time in the history of the NFL that a rookie quarterback is spearheading a championship caliber team. And this was a team, Herbie, that this is a team that does not have great talent. Like the Commanders are not a team that's known for their talent, but because they have a special quarterback, everybody's playing above their level, and it's a beautiful thing to see, Herbie. It's amazing what happens when changes at the top trickle down to all the way down, right? You have a change in ownership with Dan Snyder, right? And just that butterfly effect from him no longer having his greasy hands on the franchise, you get yourself new management, you get yourself a new coach, a coach who's been to a championship before, you draft yourself the right quarterback. A lot of the Bears fans they hate a lot of our takes on Caleb Williams, Herbie. But at the end of the day, Jalen Daniels came into a situation that was not ideal. As a matter of fact, I remember before the draft, everybody was saying that the Bears were a great situation for a rookie to go into, Herbie. But now that's not we don't even think about that now. Jaden Daniels has come in, Herbie, and not only is he he's leading them. It's not like a case of Big Ben being riding the coattails of the Steelers defense or Mark Sanchez riding Rex Ryan's defense and Thomas Jones. Like, Herbie, this is a rookie quarterback who they putting everything on his plate, bro. You need him to make the throw, he'll make the throw. You need him to scramble out of pressure, he'll scramble out of pressure. You need him to beat the blitz, he'll beat the blitz. Every challenge that comes across Jaden Daniels, Herbie, he has answered the bell, which is something that we just at some point, usually rookies hit a wall. Even CJ Stroud last season hit a wall. That hasn't happened. And
you know the crazy part about it, the wall that he did hit that was very short-lived was against the Eagles. The only bad game that he played all season was against the Eagles, dog. But
it's incredible.
It is incredible. But the real star of the Washington Commanders is how disrespectful they were in victory, dog. Listen, man, if you know anything about Detroit has something that they hold near and dear to their hearts, man. Cartier glasses, a.k.a. Buffs, Buffalinos. You feel me? Every city got something. You know, Broward, we got polo. Atlanta got polo boots. Detroit has Buffs, man. And look at these niggas acting an ass in Detroit with the Buffs, man. No,
Detroit, no. Damn, bro, disrespectful, bro.
He has the Buffs on his iPhone. He got him on his iPhone.
Oh, man. No.
Oh, man.
Oh, God,
I feel so bad for Detroit, man. Listen, man, Detroit versus everybody, dog. Listen, there's a reason why Sean McVay shipped that mofo to motherfucking Detroit, dog. I get it, bro.
Hey, what was it that James? Oh, he called him Jared Goof. That's right. Yeah, they had Jared Goof yesterday, man.
They had Jared Goof, man. Sean McVay understood. I can't win with this dude, man. I know who he is, dog. When them lights get bright, the ball's gonna go to the other team, dog. And first thing, shout out to Tom Brady. Tom Brady has been way over criticized this entire season, but he got the love that he deserved because he called a great game. You can feel the enthusiasm. You can feel like that dude wanted to be on the field. But when that man threw that pick, he said, Jared, you can't do that. You can't do that. It made Tom Brady sick to his stomach to see such bad quarterback play, dog. It made him sick to his stomach, man. But this is what happens, right? We're at the point, and I'm not going to say that pure pocket passers can't win in the NFL. We just didn't appreciate the ones that we had. I truly believe that Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees were just supercomputers. They were so advanced at pocket passing that they made it seem way easier than it actually is. Because now we're at this point where you see in this, bro, you have to have an athlete back there, dog. You need that extra time.
Joe Burrow's the only truly elite pocket passer. Outside of that, who else? It's truly at that level that you could say is outside of Joe Burrow, bro. And even he can scramble. You know what I'm saying?
This is the new NFL. Think about this. We have 3 of the 4 quarterbacks in championship games are black or athletic, and then you have a superhuman in Josh Allen, bro. This is just the new NFL, bro. Moves as I move. Go lay down, baby. Go lay down. Go
Baby
down,
Z.
Baby Z in the building, man. Okay. Because we are short for time. What else do you have for this game? What was your biggest takeaway? Other than Jaden Daniels and whatnot.
Well, I'll have my final takeaway for Jaden Daniels, Herbie, and this might be controversial, but he's probably as of right now, based on just this season, he's top 5. Who's
top 5 quarterback or top 5
quarterback? Yeah, quarterback. Top 5. Like Herbie,
You're right.
think
You're
about it.
right. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to
Think
make an
about it.
argument against him. Other than longevity, there's really no argument you can make against him, dog. Like,
The only argument people have is he's a rookie, but he's a
yeah,
rookie who's beat other guys who were top 10 this season. 2 of them.
they
So
went
that's
from 4-13 to 12-5, and they're in the conference championship. Like
for the first time since 1992.
you would have to be a top 5 quarterback to do that, to have that kind of influence, to have that kind of impact, to have that kind of tangible results, right? Like a 12-5 team that goes to the conference championship, and that quarterback 9 times out of 10 is considered a top 5 quarterback, right? Like we always say that you need a top 5 quarterback to even consistently win in the playoffs, except if your name is Jalen Jalen Hurts. Clearly, dog, he's the only one that breaks the trend, who breaks the mold, who breaks the matrix, dog. You know what I'm saying?
But my final point on the Lions before we move on to the next game, I'll make this about the Lions, Herbie. I think the Lions fucked up, man, because their window of opportunity might have closed, man. And I know that might be weird to say because they still have a lot of young talent, but I think coordinators matter in football, Herbie, a lot more than people admit.
Clearly.
And Ben Johnson is likely going to be gone. Aaron Glenn is likely going to be gone. So I don't know how much influence Dan Campbell actually has on the schemes and on the game planning and shit like that. But I think, and then, guys get older. You don't keep all the same talent. This was Detroit's time, Herbie. You win 15 games, you get home field advantage. And I know the injuries fucked them up, Herbie. On defense, they just couldn't overcome that.
You can't overcome 16 players on IR, and majority of them on defense. Because remember, Aiden Hutchinson wasn't out there. Carlton Davis wasn't out there, right? Like they had second and third stringers out there trying to stop the Washington Commanders, and nobody really stopped the Washington Commanders this entire season. So it was already a tall task to begin with. And then you got Jared Goof pulling out a goofball performance, dog. Like, you put them behind the 8 ball. Remember, he threw a pick 6. That's 7 points. That's a 7-point swing. That's a 14-point swing. You gave it to him. So now you're 24-13. And then you throw another pick. And then you say, fuck it. Let's just lose all of our minds, bruh. And give Jay, the guy who was out here thrusting the field, let's give him an opportunity to make a decision with the football in his hands and throw the ball, bruh. Like,
Herbie, when I saw that play, that was desperation. The Lions were in complete panic mode at that point. Like, they were feeling the heat. Why the hell would you call a trick play with Jameson Williams throwing the ball in that situation? You're down 10 points at home in a playoff game. You're gonna call a trick play to Jameson Williams to throw the ball?
Not the time to do that.
They earned that pick. They earned that shit, bro. Like,
absolutely,
man, that was desperation.
Me, I'll say, for me, I'm not there with you in regards to it being closed. However, the zipper is going up. The zipper's definitely going up, and they are on borrowed time. So I'll give them one more season, because when it goes fast. I.e., the San Francisco 49ers, who were just in the Super Bowl, didn't even make the playoffs, bro. It goes. Cool. All right, next game, man. And I know this is a game that the homie wants to get in on, man. Eagles hold on against Rams 28-22. I'm sick. I have to watch the final piece of the puzzle, of the NFC East puzzle, make it to a conference championship before the Dallas Cowboys have since 1996. The other 3 teams in the division have all made a conference championship before the Dallas Cowboys since 1996. I am sick. I am morbid. I am tired of this shit. The Eagles, that piece of shit city, does not deserve a consistent championship quality team like this. Like, Give that to something like Cleveland or something, bro. Real bottom feeders, dog. The Eagles, though, Philly doesn't deserve this level of professionalism, this level of excellence, this level of consistency. It burns me, Rod. It pains me to see Jalen Hurts waddle and dawdle his way to another conference championship, dog. Like, I'm happy for Saquon because I'm happy for sports, and I'm happy for excellent football players. So I'm happy for Saquon. That's it. Fuck Jalen Carter. Fuck Nick Braun. Fuck Quinyon Mitchell, CJ Gardner Johnson. Fuck everybody, dog. They don't deserve it. Philly doesn't deserve this. They fucking threw snowballs at fucking Santa Claus, dog. That city don't deserve this shit. So mad.
Disrespectful.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. But
Listen, Herb, I understand.
all
I
right.
understand.
To break the game down though, excellent game. Playing in the elements, man. It really affects stuff, man. Like Jesus Christ, dog.
You know what, Herbie? I love that aspect of football. I love when teams are playing in the snow, teams are playing in the rain, because that's when you see the wonkiest shit. You know what I mean? Like you get to see guys slipping, fumbles happening. Cooper DeJean had like a fumble he almost fucked up big time on a kick return, punt return. But look, Herbie, overall, like you said, this was a great game to watch, right? And imagine, Herbie, the Rams this summer are going to be seeing Saquon in their dreams because this motherfucker had 2 games where he rushed for 200 yards on you in the same
In the
season.
same season. Knock
Like
on wood.
they're gonna have him in his and Herbie. I just gotta say, man, Saquon Barkley just might just here come the Bills fans, man. Here comes Josh Allen for MVP. Here come the Bills fans. Oh my God. Bills Mafia is not gonna know how to act, man, if they win.
Bro,
Oh,
you know how, bro.
goodness,
Home
dog.
Depot is gonna be sold out of fucking tables, bro. They're selling out of tables as we speak, bro. Do you know how many people are going through tables right now in East New York, East Upper New York, dog? Like, oh my God, man. DeMar Hamlin is his bad heart stuff with Derek Lewis is Derek Lewis is a story of legend. Yeah. You're right. The backup running back, Derek Lewis. Yeah, man. I mean, listen, like if I don't know if you were here for the entire conversation, John Paul, but our biggest takeaway from it was we don't really think anybody lost. Somebody just had to lose that game, but it was a great game and we were excited for it all together, man. No table in the USA is safe tonight.
Well, but Bills Mafia TLCs all night, man.
Bro,
Niggas
Home
is hitting
Depot,
swanton bombs all night off of
Lowe's,
trailers.
Fucking
Off of trailers, dog.
Fucking Home Depot, Lowe's. What's the other one, bro? The bootleg
Harbor
one?
Freight.
Harbor Freight, bro.
Yeah,
you will not find a table in the entire state of New York. That shit's gonna be on back order to fucking March. Back to the Eagles though, man. Eagles and Rams. It was a great game. Like this was just a great weekend, dog. Like it was a great
divisional weekend is arguably always the greatest playoff weekend, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Usually.
You're getting high level games and it's fun, man. It's super fun, bro. So, what's your biggest takeaway? Well, I know you were getting to the point about the Eagles and Saquon going to haunt the Rams and fans in LA for years after this performance. Dog. This was stuff of legend. This was lore making. This added to the lore that he already created for this entire season. But go on, what were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, Saquon, he's had an incredible season. For him to have a game like this in a moment like this, like you gotta think about it, Herbie. Like sometimes, shout out to John Paul. You already know wrestling reference. But yeah, Herbie, when it comes down to what the Eagles have been able to do, what Saquon has been able to do, Herbie, like his name could be up there with some of the greatest running backs of all time if the Eagles could actually seal the deal on this. Shout out to the homie Matt, real Eagles fan since day one, since I known him. But Herbie, you know what actually impressed me the most? Because we already know what Saquon and that offensive line could do for the Eagles. Their defense, Herbie. The Eagles, that to me, if you're an Eagles hater, that's what would scare me the most, Herbie. That defense, Herbie, game after game after game is able to lock guys down. Like it just yeah, the Rams were able to score 22 points, but they held the Rams to 15 points most of the game, Herbie. This like the Eagles are one of the most I don't think this is hyperbole. Like I think I'm being 100% real here, Herbie. In like the 25 to 30 years I've been watching football, the Eagles are probably one of the most complete teams I've ever seen. Like the only thing about it is they have a quarterback who's an excellent runner that you don't trust him to throw the ball. Like I'm watching Jalen Hurts throwing a double coverage in the end zone, and I'm just like, wow, like talk about a guy who's in the best situation a quarterback could ever be in. right? But you look at the running game, the offensive line, the receivers, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goddard. Like, I'm watching these guys in this game, Herb, and I'm thinking to myself, like, man, if the Eagles had somebody just slightly better than Jalen Hurts, they'd be one of the scariest teams we've ever seen. And, it goes back to what we always say, Herbie, and I know some of Jalen Hurts fans don't like to hear this, but he does hold the team back, in my opinion. Like, he holds them back. Because I watch the Eagles, and I'm not as scared of them as I could be without him. Now, Matt, you're an Eagles fan. I don't know how you feel about Jalen Hurts. Maybe you can enlighten me on how you feel. But when it comes to the Eagles, Herbie, I'll put it to you like this: if the Eagles go to the Super Bowl, they're not gonna have the better quarterback, no matter who the fuck comes out of the AFC. So, just thinking about that just makes me think like, damn. I mean, could they have the better team? You could argue, yeah. I mean, like, there's almost no weaknesses or holes in that team. Oh, John Paul Smith, I see what you did there, man. I see what you did, man. I see what you did there, man. I see what you did there, man. Hey, man, we ain't got to talk about Tua, man.
We definitely don't. We definitely don't.
We
Okay,
ain't
so
gotta talk about Tua.
to wrap it up on this end, and this is going to come back full circle because this goes back to the point that you're making when it comes to the Detroit Lions, right? Like when you lose coordinators, you lose scheme, and you lose everything right now. Like the obvious drop off coincides with the Eagles no longer having Shane Steichen. He went to Indianapolis Colts. Jalen Hurts forgot how to play football. He forgot how to play quarterback. Right?
Crazy.
Like so
Crazy.
we forget about all these moving parts. Like Jalen Hurts might have had the perfect coordinator that just understood him and vice versa, and they worked together. Without Shane Steichen, he just might never be that guy that we saw in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, who was the best player on the field, opposite of Patrick Mahomes. Right? Like it just might be the situation. But I will say this: if anybody who's a Jalen Hurts fan, I listen. Of course, I want to kick his back end. He's an Eagle. I get off to kicking his back end. Pause. However, stop lying to yourselves. He's clearly the weakest link, and he's clearly limiting ultimately what you guys could ultimately be. It is what it is, man. All right. Last but not least, bruh. God, bruh. let's talk about these shameful Kansas City Chiefs. I didn't understand that we would immediately get the next version of the New England Patriots dynasty with Tom Brady. But more arrogant, more annoying, more obnoxious. And do you know how hard it is to say there's a more obnoxious fan base and team than the Patriots? Than New England, Massachusetts?
Nah, and you know what, Herbie? That speaks volumes, bro, because people felt that type of way about the Patriots, but the Chiefs might be worse already. They might be worse already. Herbie, Patrick Mahomes is like flopping, bro. Like that shit pissed me off. I was so pissed off when I watched that play. Like this nigga slowed. He slowed to get out of bounds.
See, that's what it is.
Him and he flopped.
They all flop. I've never seen somebody slow down to game the system like that. Have some integrity, dog. You're too good to be doing bullshit like that, bro.
That's what makes you pissed off, Herbie. That's what makes you pissed off, Herbie. And what makes you even more pissed off, I'm not one to complain about the officiating. And whenever people always want to blame officiating, I'm actually always willing to lean toward the other side. Like there's other things that happen in the game. But then you think about the level that the Chiefs are at, Herbie. How good of a team they are. The Chiefs don't need help. They don't need the Zebras to help them. They're already great. I watched Patrick Mahomes be down 24-0 and win 54-34. Like, they don't need that fucking assistance, Herbie. I'm watching a play. This is how I know it's bad. This is how you know it's bad. On the play where they called the flag where the two Texans defenders hit each other when Patrick slides at the last second, even Troy Aikman
It wasn't a slide. That's the part. It wasn't a slide. He dropped to the floor. He didn't slide.
He didn't. And they still called the flag.
And they still called the flag. And it's just like, dog, you shouldn't be able to get away with this nonsense because you're gaming the system. The Will Anderson play, it's already hard enough to beat them. When you win the down, when you get them off the field on third down,
what a bullshit
you know how
call,
demoralizing it is to say, Oh, never mind. Here's 15 yards. Not only did you not win the down, you lost 15 yards of real estate on the field. Like this, the football at its core is chess with very large human beings playing real estate acquisition for 3 hours. That's all football is. So when you give people 15 yards that they do not deserve or did not earn, it's just hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's so effing hard to watch, especially when you got a nigga trying to bait fucking fouls on the sideline. You remember, that's how they beat the Bengals 3 years or 2 years ago to go to the fucking Super Bowl against the Eagles, dog. Because somebody was making sure that he just pushed Patrick Mahomes out of bounds. Because you know Patrick Mahomes is quick to pretend he's going out of bounds and then run up the fucking sideline and they throw a flag on that and they won that game. That's I'm like, so I have to push this motherfucker, bruh. Cause he gonna do some lame ass shit like this, dog. Like it is so lame.
It's so aggravating, bro. Like you watch it real time, you're just like, you guys are too good to be doing that. You guys are too good to be doing that, you know. But let me tell you something, Herbie, and this is just my honest opinion. Just watching that game, I thought in the first half specifically, I thought the Texans were the better team. They made some mistakes. They couldn't really get out of their own way, but they look. Herbie, you got to think about this. The Texans are the first team to like outgain a team by over 100 yards, have no turnovers, and lose. I think the last 49 teams or something along that lines that played that type of game won. Like
Yeah,
the
49
Texans
and 0.
were
49 and 0. And again,
the
let me get this in because there's gonna be Chief fans who are gonna catch this, they're gonna see this on algorithm. The Chiefs deserve to win the game, guys. I'm not arguing that. They were the better team. The Texans were going to you play that game 10 times. The Chiefs are winning that game 9 out of 10 times. I don't want people to think that I'm saying that they won because of penalties and they won because of bad calls. No. They were not well equipped enough. They didn't have the mental toughness to hang in there. They made critical errors and bad times. They let the only person that you have to guard on the field, Travis Kelce, run wide open multiple times. So no, they were not
with
going to
no
win this game
legs.
with no
With no
legs.
legs.
They were not going to win this game. But
Yeah,
it
they
is
weren't gonna
still
lose.
annoying. It is still infuriating. It is still some bitch ass shit. And I will die on my sword saying that.
Bro. And look, I don't want to down the Chiefs completely, right? Because their guys made plays, right? They had 8 sacks on CJ Stroud.
Eight sacks.
You know what I'm saying? George Karlaftis had like a fucking incredible game. He had like 3 sacks of those
Nobody
5
told Bobby
of those 8.
Slowick to say, you know what? I'm going to put Dalton Schultz on George Kalafalaskis multiple times, or however you say his name. That's not
Karlaftis, yeah.
Garloftis. That ain't got shit to do with the officiating, bro. That ain't got shit to do with the refs. You're putting
It's bad coaching, bro.
That's just bad coaching, bro.
This is bad. That's bad scheme, bad coaching. You know what I mean? And CJ, and the Texans, man, they got to get an offensive line, bro. Like I'm watching some of these other teams. I'm watching the Bills, Herbie. I'm watching them create holes for James Cook and the rookie Davis. Like I'm watching the Ravens O line, even though they struggled a bit in this game because the Bills have has some fat boys, some strong,
Yeah.
tough boys in the D line. So, but even the Chiefs, Herbie, even their fat boys can create some holes, man. Like the Texans' offensive line, man, they're just pitiful, especially when the game was really on the line. I mean, the Texans were really in the game up until the fourth quarter, and then they just started letting CJ die. They just stopped caring. They just started letting CJ die. Like I think the man almost caught a season-ending injury in the last game of the season, bro. Like imagine, but. Listen, man. I guess we have to wait till next week for someone to take down the Chiefs. I, in good conscience, cannot root for the Bills. However, if the Chiefs lose, Herbie, I'm not mad. I want to see somebody new win a fucking title, man. I don't want to see another team. Like, you know what, Herbie? I'm gonna sound like a hater. Fuck it. I don't care who gets a 3-peat, but it can't be these Chiefs, nigga. It can't be these Chiefs who get the 3-peat, Herbie. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's probably gonna do it, but I don't want these guys to do it. These smug fucking, they think that they're shit. Like, oh yeah, we're on top. No, fuck you guys, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't root for the Bills, Herbie, but if the Chiefs lose, I'm not mad.
Now, I'm with you on that, and we're in unison on that, man. But like I said, as you can see, I got a baby to put away, man. So we will probably do another episode this week previewing the championships games. Any
Yes,
last words
sir.
before we get about here, man?
Shout out to you, John Paul Smith, man. You're always welcome to come back on the show. Everybody who popped up in the chat. Shout out to you, Herb, obviously. Baby Z, how you doing,
Baby
love?
Z in the building.
Yeah, but you know, Herbie, we love doing this. This was a great weekend of football, man. I look forward to, next show out, man. You already
All
know,
right,
man. We
man.
do this. Yes,
All right.
sir.
And with that, man, see y'all next week. Deuces.
Deuces.